My name is Madeline Steiner, and my project was contributing to a nonprofit organization. So my essential question for my senior project was, what steps are needed to contribute to Project Just Because by volunteering and organizing a drive? So for my senior project, as mentioned in the essential question, I just volunteered and organized a food drive. I really wanted to volunteer because I wanted to make a connection with the organization. I didn't just want to collect stuff and donate it. I wanted to make connections with the people I was volunteering for and with the organization. And reasoning for why I did the project, I would say the main reason was because of past experiences. I have volunteered for nonprofit organizations before, and it's been a positive experience. So I knew for my senior project, I wanted to do something to help other people and to give back to the community. And I also connected with the mission statement. For the volunteering and food drive part, I'll get to that later. And for the mission statement, I'm going to continue with that now. So what is Project Just Because? Project Just Because is a nonprofit organization, and the mission statement, as stated on their website, is to help struggling families in their times of greatest need by supplying basic necessities, including warm clothing, food, and school supplies. They're dedicated to serving as many men, women, and children as possible in a caring and dignified environment, and they foster a strong, more empathetic community. And you can see in the logo below, their slogan is helping families in need from the heart. And while volunteering there, I can see that the mission statement and both the slogan, they really apply there, and you can just feel it in the atmosphere. It's located in Hopkinton. These are both pictures that I took. That's what the outside of the facility looks like, the far picture over there. And the sign is kind of falling down, but below that is a door that leads to the offices. And then if you look to the far right of the picture, that door is the door to the food pantry, and if you look closely, you can see people standing in line, waiting to go into the food pantry. And that's just a picture of the sign that you see when you enter the plaza area, and it's right next to like a solar panel company. So I'm going to talk about the volunteering part of it and the steps I had to take to become a volunteer and what I did to be a successful one. So to get started, the first thing I had to do was fill out an application form that I found on their website, and I put a screenshot of what the beginning of it looks like right at the top of the screen, and it kept going. There was a lot of stuff I had to answer, but once I filled that out, I also decided to send out an email to the organization so that I could explain who I am, my project that I wanted to do, so I can make her aware that I didn't just want to be a volunteer, I also wanted to be involved in other ways. And those are some emails over here. Before I started volunteering, I had to complete an orientation. This is something I went to after school, and there were other students there as well. I basically got a tour of the whole facility, which is really cool. You walk in, there's offices, and then you go out back, and there's a huge warehouse. The shelves go up as high as you can imagine. And they really do collect a lot of donations. They have food, they have clothing, shoes. They even have a critical care room, which has supplies put aside for families that are in critical need, which I think is cool. And they really have everything you could think of for people struggling and just the necessities that people need. This is a paper that I received during my orientation that just has some of the rules. One of them is a no phone policy, so I honestly don't have a ton of pictures of the inside of the place because me, along with all the other volunteers, would put our phones in the break room before volunteering. And also has details on how to schedule yourself and all of that. So specifically for volunteering, what I did and challenges. So what I did a lot of cleaning, honestly. It was a lot of sweeping and mopping and wiping fridges and cleaning the shelves, which wasn't that fun, but I think it's necessary to keep the place running. And I also got to stock the shelves, which I think was fun because I got to stock the cans and the canned drinks and all of that. I also got to shop sometimes, so some people got to place orders online, and you would take the slip, and I got to take it and pack their stuff so that they could just pick it up and go. And at the end of the day, I also got to box stuff, which is where we would box bagged items so that like mice don't get to them at night. There were a few challenges I ran into, the first one being the scheduling. So I could only work weekdays really, but they were only open until 5 o'clock on all weekdays except for Wednesdays when they were open until 7. So on weekdays that weren't Wednesdays, it was just a lot of cleaning, and I didn't feel like I got to connect too much, but Wednesdays were definitely my favorite day because I would get to stay until 7, and there was cleaning at the end, but other than that, it was stocking, it was more shopping, and one of my favorite things to do was just holding the door, and even though that sounds simple, it's necessary because it's locked from the outside. They can't just have people coming in and taking stuff. So I would get to open the door and greet the people and direct them on where to go. Sometimes they would bring their kids in too, so I'd get to play with them if their parents were shopping. And just doing stuff like that and connecting with people was really important to me. Then one other challenge was that they had a new manager come in on my second shift, so he didn't really know what was going on and I didn't really know what was going on, so it took a little bit of navigating for both of us, but I think that made it so that we had a good connection and I learned a lot. And right over here, that's a lanyard that I got when I started volunteering that I had to wear every time, and if you look on the top left, that's the clothing area of the food pantry, and then on the bottom left is a picture of what the food pantry looks like itself. It's definitely a lot bigger than what the picture makes it look like, but that is what it looks like. It's like a grocery store almost, and people have shopping carts and can grab items. So for the food drive, the first thing that I had to do was contact stores. I thought it would be best to have face-to-face contact, so one day I just drove around and went to different stores, and honestly I was surprised at the amount of stores that didn't want donation bins. I guess I didn't think about it, but having a donation bin in a lobby doesn't make the most sense because people could take stuff if they wanted to. But Shaw's and Trader Joe's agreed, so I kept it there for a 4-week period from the second week of April to about the second week of May. I had to make the bins and make the flyer to go on the bin, which you can see over here. And this is the bins that I collected. I put them in my car, picked them up, and then drove them over to Project Just Because, where I dropped them off to Shayna, who is one of the managers that I got a good connection with. Yeah. So what went well? I think volunteering went well because it was a really positive experience for me. Communication, I think I communicated well with Project Just Because and with the managers, and I think I made good connections with a few of them, and I know I could reach out to them in the future if I need anything. And overall, it was just a really positive experience, and I think I learned a lot about myself. What could have gone better? I think the drive could have gone better. In hindsight, I would have planned it earlier, maybe ran multiple drives to collect more stuff, like starting earlier in the year, and I wish I marketed it better and timed it better. And lastly, for a vision of the graduate, communication. So I had to communicate with organizations and with the stores, collaboration. I communicated with Project Just Because, or collaborated with Project Just Because, with Trader Joe's, Shaw's, and with the other volunteers. For critical thinking, I had to plan the drive and create a timeline, which again, in hindsight, I wish I did a better job of that. I think I procrastinated a bit. And then character, I had to get out of my comfort zone a bit because volunteering there was a whole new environment for me, new people I've never met, something I've never done before, and I guess I just had to put myself out there. And I also help people and a community. Thank you.